Ah, why am I nervous? Why am I nervous? Zach is about to start playing. A wolf in my heart. What am I looking at? This is 2 hours ago. Is this old? Oh god, can you see this? I just put Pantera in the search engine because I want to pull up the wiki, and this is the first shit I see. Okay. Oh fuck, why you do this to me, man? Okay. Welcome everybody. Welcome back. Welcome my heart. All that good stuff. Patreon to 500. Win a base. Blah, blah, blah. I was going to do a Pantera video, and now I've already gone off the rails. Again, the whole idea is part of the fun of this channel is I want to do it streaming style. So I want to look things up live, and then we kind of work this process together. I was prepared to talk about the reunion. This is what I wanted. I heard they got back together. I heard that I know that Zakk Wylde is the guitarist. What is it? Charlie Bennett, Anthrax, is the drummer. And I had a whole thing prepared in my mind where I was gonna talk about, you know, at what point is a band still earning its name of, for example, in this case, Pantera, how many members do you have to lose before a band stops being a band? Was basically the conversation I wanted to have. I think I'm going to save this for the end because this is kind of annoying and I'm going to have to read it a little bit. Is this thing even tracking? This thing just threw me completely out of my game. Phil has to make everything hard. That's just his nature. Okay. So I have some thoughts on this, obviously, with the reunion. And I already know probably what the discourse is, you know, with the brothers gone. Could you even call this Pantera? And honestly, I think it's a pretty good question, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. I know I have my own thoughts, because whenever I think of something like this, I think of an analogy. I think of something comparable and do some thought experiments. And I think about, is there a band that I loved that is no longer themselves? Who am I thinking about? If I can spell it. Sepultura. Okay. Oh, no, I can't spell it. Okay, cool. Sepultura. All right. One of my favorite bands growing up. Amazing, amazing thrash band from Brazil. One of the best bands of all time. Some of the greatest hits, some of the greatest tracks. And damn, I love this band. Still do. Well, okay, hold on. When I say still do, still love the Caveira brothers. Now, do I like the new Sepultura? If you don't know what happened to Sepultura, obviously Max left and he created some side projects, mainly Soulfly. And I can certainly argue that when Max left, you noticed very quickly Max was a big part of the Sepultura sound. When he left, and mind you, I've not heard anything they've done recently. I heard like their first 2 albums when they got the new singer, Derek Green, and I dug his voice. I do. I dig Derek's voice. It's very different. It adds something new. The problem with losing a lead singer, and this is something that Tomas was facing with Nightwish, is the lead singer, more than any other band member, gives a band its identity. Because while certainly people like Dimebag are hard to replace. Like, you don't hear too many people with the Dimebag sound, to be perfectly honest, even to this day. It can be replicated if you try hard enough, right? But with a singer, it's a born gift, okay? A certain person's tone it's like once in a generation, right? You think of like someone like Freddie Mercury from Queen, right? There are people, there's a guy on YouTube that sounds exactly like him, but how many people can say that, right? You have Freddie Mercury, you have a couple of, I know one guy who sounds just like him, Bruce Dickinson, right? We got that guy from Brazil who sounds just like him. So like you'll find one or two or three human beings out of millions and millions of people that can sound like a particular singer. Very hard to replicate. And not just the sound, but then how about the attitude, right? How about the persona, the personality of the frontman, right? Add to that Max was also, as we learn, a big part of the sound, because what happened was when he broke from Sepultura and was doing Soulfly became Sepultura. If you wanted the Sepultura sound, you went to Soulfly. You got some extra shit, you know, some rap, some reggae, some reggaeton, you got a whole bunch of other stuff on top of it, but you had that sound, and granted a bit of like a later Sepultura sound, like the roots sound, right? Not so much like their early years, which is like more just like real thrashy stuff. I found Max's eclectic Soulfly style and sound very appealing and very attractive. The later Sepultura was hit and miss. When they did something good though, oh, it was good, because they're very unique kind of tone to his voice and stuff. And again, things that are hard to replace. But the other, on top of that, almost everybody else left Sepultura. Are there any original members of Sepultura? Maybe one, right? So they still are calling themselves Sepultura, even though people have replaced. Now, it's interesting, for example, when you're a founder of a band, to maybe pick people to replace certain members that might fit the band and continue the legacy of a band. But you get my point, right? Replacing people is a difficult thing in a band when you establish a band and a sound and an attitude and a personality. When you start losing people, at what point do you lose the essence and spirit of what that band was? There are times when you can do it very right. Gwar, one of my favorite bands, is a perfect example of that, right? So we lost Dave Brockie, Oderus Urungus. And first of all, it took me, a year to even bother listening to any of their music or anything, because that did hit me kind of hard. It was just like Chester with Linkin Park. It's very hard for me to listen to Linkin Park without kind of welling up, because all I could think about is how this guy's not here with us anymore, and this incredible talent, this incredible voice, and incredibly beautiful human being. But I said to myself, man, the only person who could replace him is Beefcake, Michael Bishop. But for those who know Gwar, they sing on the album, the Beefcakes. They have a different voice than Dave, completely different. But it's just like the spirit to be there, to be replaced by someone who was a singer on the band, who is also close to Dave, and who's just an integral part of the Gwar experience and sound. So today I'm able to listen to Gwar and enjoy it, not on the same level, but on a new level. And it just is what it is. But the whole point I was making, as far as like the spirit, is who better, in all honesty, because Zakk Wylde does not sound like Dimebag. Zakk is one of those alpha guitarists who has his own sound and his own thing. These are men of their own standing, but they were, of course, very close. So for him to replace Dimebag, spirit-wise, even if he doesn't recreate the sound, which, quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because he's a very skilled guitarist, let's be real. Dimebag was very unique, because it's not a lot of times where the lead guitarist like literally defines the sound of a band, because they can, I hate to say it, sometimes be replaceable, unless they are truly unique, like someone like a Slash or something, where the sound is something so special that to replace him would be to kind of ruin the entire aesthetic of the band. And of course, Dimebag was one of those people. Pantera, its essential sound, separate from Phil's intensity, is that. And of course, Rex is still with the band. So we have 50% of the band. We have Phil, we have Rex. And again, I like the spirit that Zakk and Charlie are there, two people that are close to the band. So it's not like just being replaced by these randos. It's replaced by people who care as much about Pantera as we do, So yeah, that's how I feel about it, It's very tricky. But to have still your lead frontman, as much of a goddamn mess as he is, is very, very essential to this experience, because if you're gonna lose, you know, both the frontman and the lead, I mean, you've lost two of like the main components of what makes bands unique. Anyway, give me your thoughts on this in the comments. Let me know how you view this, if you kind of agree with me and what I'm saying here. And let's see if they pull it off. Okay, I guess we'll go with this one. The first reunion show, 1.5 million views already a month ago. Wow. Okay, I hear some Cowboys From Hell.
Look here, man. It took a lot of doing to get this show up and running. And I just want to thank everybody involved in that process. All the families, all the managers, all of the crew, all of everybody that worked their ass off to get this shit going. The estates, Rita, love you, baby, wish you were here. Sykes, you know me.
I haven't seen Zach in a while. He's leaned out, hasn't he?
Who?
Good for him.
And hey, look.
Charlie!
2 more factions here. Look here, listen.
Rex is aging like fine wine.
Back there on the fucking drums, man.
Kind of remind me of Iggy Pop a little bit. I hope it gets louder though.
Crying out loud, as they say.
Stop! 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 Stop!
This
Stop!
dude
Stop!
here
Stop!
lyrics.
Stop! 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 Stop!
Ah! Why am I nervous? Why am I nervous? Zach is about to start playing. You shouldn't be nervous. Okay, let's just go. Let's just go. Come on, baby.
You know this cat over here, right?
Oh my god, they're teasing. They're teasing me.
Fucking awesome now. But hey, the number one motherfucker that we gotta fucking thank here is all you people out there, man. Thank you so much. Long time coming, man. We love you. And I hope I didn't leave anybody out. But if I did, this
they have a
song
graphic
goes out
novel.
to them. This is one called Cowboys.
Let's... Ah, goddamn, it sounds like shit. Listen, I can't hear shit. I know the song by heart, so, but I can't hear shit. I need a better copy. It's hard with these live performances because I don't think they have an official. Maybe something on the Pantera channel. Let me see. 2 weeks ago, a month ago, for the brothers, for the fans. That's just a teaser. Damn it. All right, let me click on, let me just go in order until we get something that sounds good. Wow, this is the hour-long video here. So, still a cell phone video, damn it. kick us off from here. We got a new level. Hold on, Phil. You're getting a little excited. A new level. Beyond Driven. What song do I want to hear? Domination. Hollow. Okay. Let's just start with a new level.
This is called New Level.
Here's Zach a little bit better in this one. Oh, what are we doing? Come on, buddy. You're killing me.
Let me fucking hear you.
Where's Rex?
Oh, yeah?
What happened to Rex? You will miss the 22 Pantera show. Uh-oh, what happened to you, buddy? This is from December. Ah, shit, he got COVID-19. Ah, damn. So he had to miss the show. That sucks. I hope he's okay.
Raise your fucking fist in the air. Everybody.
I can't get news on Rex because Phil is dominating the headlines. They've been dropped from the 3rd European Festival. Oh, jeez. Removed from the German Festival. Oh, man, we're going to have to dig into this. Let's see what Zach is doing here. See, he sounds like Zach. He doesn't sound like Dave, which is fine. I mean, why imitate a legend when you are also a legend? You know, I mean, you're playing his riffs. It's got to be enough. Bill still sounds good. Oh, god damn it. You know, I don't even know if I need to read the news. Okay, it sounds good. I mean, obviously these are shitty recordings. I was hoping there would be something better. Let me just hear him play the opening of Cemetery Gates. Let's see what Zach is gonna do here. But I've been watching Phil for so many years. Like I kind of know the guy's character. He's kind of like a fuck you kind of guy. So he's the kind of guy who would do a Nazi salute in Germany because they told him not to. You know what I mean? Not because he means it, but because they told him not to. It's so annoying. doesn't help that you look kind of like a damn skinhead. It really sends the wrong message. And it's sad because it's like it ruins everything for the fans. Like it's okay to be a little sympathetic to what these things mean. Don't have to be a complete ass about it. Okay. It's amazing. Even through a shitty recording, it cuts through because it's so clean. I've said this before on another reaction channel, but I've not been to too many concerts. But I was lucky to go to Ozzfest, and I was lucky to see Pantera. And I couldn't walk for a couple of weeks after the mosh pit, but I'll never forget, you literally had to cover your ears because when Dime hit his screaming notes, it just cut through your eardrums. You couldn't handle it. Okay, are we doing Oyster Cult now? We are, aren't we? So we just did the intro. It's not the full song. Oh yeah, Planet Caravan. Excuse me, Black Sabbath, not Blue Oyster Cult. It's a pretty cool cover they do though. Yeah, Phil sounds good, man. Background videos, it's a constant tribute. It really anchors the fans into the experience. This is great. Phil really sounds good because I'm remembering this is on a cell phone. Spot on. Oh man. Domination. Domination. Domination.
All the fucking bands, all around the crew, the whole fucking place. And hey, Brazil has been amazing. Sao Paulo is fucking amazing, man. Thank y'all so much. This is an honor. God.
Oh shit. This is getting right into the ending. I remember the first time I got Cowboys From Hell, man. That was such a game changer. This song literally sounded like my Walkman was breathing, like the guitars were breathing. Not the guitars, the drum. It sounded like the drums were in a vacuum. It's simple. Is this Pantera? I mean, it's not Pantera of old, obviously. I've seen Pantera of old. This is Pantera with Zakk Wylde playing guitar instead of Dime. You can hear that. You can hear it, Zakk. And you're able to jam to Pantera tunes with Zakk Wylde. It's not a a Pantera reunion, but it is a Pantera tribute. You know what I mean? I mean, any Pantera fan would be having a ball with this, because it's just, we can't bring the brothers back, but to be able to have Zakk Wylde here, Charlie on the drums. Unfortunately, Rex is not here, but, you know, Phil being the sound of Pantera as far as vocally is concerned, it's the next best thing, honestly. Sounds great. Can groove, boy. This is a shame.
Thank you very much.
They could look that shit forever if they wanted to. This was it. If I can paint you a picture. This was their opening song in Ozzfest, South Florida. And Typo Negative had just gone off. And Typo Negative, as much as I love them, you know Peter, he was acting like he didn't want to be there.
I said it once,
and then the curtains closed,
in Brazil,
and this is what you heard. And the moment you heard this, it was an open parked area where we were. Everyone was sitting down chilling. Everyone stood the fuck up.
And here's a question for you. If we come back to goddamn town,
everyone stood the fuck up.
Come see us jam, man.
The curtains are opening. And you can just feel the anticipation building. You're getting goosebumps just thinking about it. And then it drops. Everyone is starting to enter the center of the field. They're getting ready. And then, okay, I don't know what happened there. It sounds like it skipped, but all hell broke loose. And it was scary and exhilarating because honestly it was my first mosh pit. And someone gave me a Charlie horse. Someone like kneed me, like did a knee drop into my thigh, and I couldn't walk for 2-3 weeks. But on that day, you don't feel anything. Totally fine. You feel it the next day. But man, that was a memory I'll never forget. The energy of this song was unreal. And it's Dime. Dime did that. He did that, man. The way he, I don't know if you want to call it abused his guitar, but the way he manipulated his guitar, what he took from all the greats and then what he did to make it his own, and just the way he makes it squeal. I don't know if people are afraid of doing that, because why don't I hear anyone playing like that, really? You know what I mean? Why was just him? I don't understand. Did he just have the cojones to, the huevos to make that happen? I don't know, man. Oh, man. Crazy crowd. Okay, let me feel some energy here. Because, honestly, in the other video, the audio is so bad and there was a skip, it took me out of the experience. Let me see if I can get it here. But you'll see it in this crowd. It's impossible not to feel it when it hits. But if you notice, like the edge, and again, don't know if it's the way it's recorded, I'm not hearing the pitch. Like, I know Zach could add some pitch to his guitar to get that sound out, right? This is sounding more kind of like just traditional thrashing kind of sound. It doesn't give the same punch, you know? Unless there's a better recording, I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This sounds pretty good.
So many things to say, but first and foremost, every single motherfucking note that we play tonight is for Dimebag and Vince. And also, know this. Rex is under the weather. He's not feeling so well, but he's actually feeling better now. So,
good.
Hey,
Glad to hear
I
it.
promise everybody Rex will be back. But hey, look here. When Rex went down,
A month ago.
in less than 24 hours, my main man, Derek Engelman, was here. Give him a round of applause, man. He's on the spot. And he's kicking ass. This next song goes out to all you motherfuckers with the energy out there. I want to see you float in mid-motherfucking air. This is one called Becoming.
This is enjoyable. This is very enjoyable. This is really a shame. I'm trying to read to see what the hell happened. All right, hold that thought, boys. Let me watch Is this him talking about
In
it?
response to a wave of criticism regarding Philip Anselmo's past racist remarks, Pantera have had their planned performances at 2 prominent German rock festivals cancelled. Following discussions with artists, partners, and supporters, the organizers of Rock am Ring and Rock im Park have chosen to take
You understand it's not about whether he's racist or not, right? It's a lack of respect. It's a lack of understanding. It's a lack of empathy. It's not like it's a First Amendment thing. Of course, First Amendment wise, you can do whatever you do. And make no mistake, this is not a First Amendment issue because him not being able to perform, that's the consequences of his actions. And he's certainly allowed to say whatever he wants. And I get that he's the kind of guy who is willing to say the opposite of what you want him to say because you told him not to say it. I get that. But there's a separate thing from those people. And it's those other people, the people that when you are doing these insensitive gestures are actually affecting. You know what I mean? It's like on the one hand, I get you want to tell certain people to go fuck themselves, but you're also telling a whole group of other people to go fuck themselves. It is just a hand gesture, but it's a hand gesture with meaning. You know, I got into a very long conversation with my wife about the Confederate flag and Pantera, right? I believe in my heart that Dimebag was certainly not racist. I'm not going to speak for Phil. Phil can speak for himself, and he claims to not be, but he sure doesn't act like it. But I know Dimebag chose to not use the Confederate flag on his guitars after a certain period. You know, he understood what it actually meant, you know? It wasn't his fault. You know what I mean? He grew up in a society where he was taught that the Confederate flag was heritage, right? It's racist. They try to change the meaning because by changing the meaning, it's that thing they do in the 80s where it's dog whistling. You change the meaning so you can use it, but you can still enjoy the meaning. Okay, you're just pretending that it's not the meaning, and then if anyone tells you it's not the meaning, oh well, what's wrong with you? You're saying this, but that's not how I look at it, and you're the one who's racist. That's not how that works. Okay, we know what you're doing. We know what dog whistling is. Okay, because just because you don't say the thing doesn't mean that that's not how you are enjoying it. Okay, so a good way to test this out on yourself, okay, is let's take a very serious subject like rape, for example. You can find humor as a man, and particularly young men. You can do a lot of jokes about rape and stuff like that. And then let's say you have your sister or your girlfriend or your mother get raped. You can imagine yourself suddenly becoming a little less humorous about the subject, yeah? You know what I mean? It's easy to make jokes when it doesn't affect you. You know what I mean? What's the big deal, right? Meanwhile, someone seeing that and being reminded of their grandparents dying in the Holocaust or something, or just, you know what I mean? It's just like, think more than about yourself. Think past yourself. Think about just what's morally just good decorum, you know?
The majority of the criticism towards Anselmo's behavior concentrates on his fascist-style salute at the January 2016 Dime Bash event in Hollywood, honoring late Pantera guitarist Daryl Abbott. Furthermore, he allegedly shouted "white power." However, he later purported that it was a joke about drinking white wine backstage and blamed audience members who were supposedly heckling him. In addition, some fans noted that Rock am Ring takes place in Nuremberg, a city that was
I don't know if I believe that, but that's neither here nor there. I know Phil is not afraid of anybody, okay? So I know that if he said that, whether that's true as far as how he did mean it, to me, it tells me that he didn't mean it, okay? Because if you're going to be racist openly, you're going to own it. Otherwise, you're just a coward. And Phil doesn't strike me as that. Again, I do believe that Phil acts impulsively because he does have trouble in this world. And he doesn't need you telling him what to do. I get that. That's why I would like him to take the next step of thinking through a little bit better. I mean, I get it. I get that you're being called something by probably some ignorant asshole who's trolling you. But does that mean then you want to harm actual victims by feeding into his stereotype to make a point? You know what I mean? Like there's got to be a more nuanced way of handling this. I just said nuanced and Phil and the same idea. I understand how that could be a problem.
Was the site of Hitler's political party's rallies from 1933 to 1938. The German Green Party has emphatically called for Rock am Ring and Rock im Park organizers to cancel Pantera's performance due to Philip Anselmo's offensive behavior. Rika Lawrence, the Green Party's spokeswoman against racism and right-wing extremism, pointed out that the former premises of Hitler's political party were being used as a platform for promoting racist and inhuman ideology. She insisted,
for example, you know, we recently had a idiot takeover of our government. Things would be said that the KKK and racist organizations would confirm as, oh, yeah, you see, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I get what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there. And there would be no effort to dispel that stuff. And remember, even when he said Proud Boys stand by, like, look at where the Proud Boys are now when it came to the insurrection and how they're finally, you know, thankfully a lot of them are going to jail. But that's what that stuff leads to. It escalates because even when you yourself are not the extremist, by feeding into them, because they accept, like, oh, in society we can't say it, so Phil doing it but then having to take it back, wink wink, yeah, we get you, bro, you can't do that. That's how they look at that. And if you're really not that, why would you ever want to be confused with that? You know what I mean? That's what makes this so hard to digest.
insisted that this type of conduct should not be tolerated under any circumstances. The Green Party further implored the organizer of Rock am Ring and Rock im Park to reevaluate their invitation for Pantera's performances. In May of 2019, Anselmo was questioned by UK's Kerrang! Magazine and asked if he had moved on from the Dime Bash situation. Phil answered, quote, "I feel like it's ridiculous. I made an off-color joke and boom, it's like I'm literally Hitler. I'm not. I take each individual one at a time, in the way that any logical individual will. I have love in my heart. Over the years, I've learned to take the first step with love and to put good faith first."
I get all that. It's just, there's a lot of people that go through their life never being mistaken for a Nazi. And that's because they don't think it's funny to sig hail the audience, you know? And to be confused by why that might be sensitive to people, that's where Phil is just a little dumb, you know?
I get along with everybody. If there's any doubt about my political leanings, people should get it out of their heads. I was raised amongst a dazzling cast of characters from the theater, from the mental hospital, from all walks of life, all colors, creeds, and kinds. It's absurd to me that anyone in this day and age would judge anyone by the color of their skin, their heritage, or their religion. I'm a harmless guy. I'm a reactionary, not a troublemaker. Following the events at Dime Bash, Rob Flynn of Machine Head released a video denouncing Phil Anselmo as
this is the old stuff.
Bully and a racist.
I want news of what's happening now.
No longer play
this is
songs
back
from
in
Pantera
when he
ever
first
again.
did it.
Scott Ian of Anthrax also issued an official statement on his own website describing Philip's actions as vile and invited him to make donations to Jewish human rights organizations.
Interesting, right? Seeing how Charlie is right now, was touring with them just now.
When questioned regarding Philip Anselmo's fascist salute,
because, I mean, you know, it's one thing to be watching this as a layman, but, you know, if you know these people, it's easier to forgive them face to face when they talk to you. It's just, again, I wish that he would exercise some semblance of common sense. That's the only thing that's frustrating here, because on the one hand, I do want him to be judged by his true heart and not by his impulsiveness, right? Because this is, after all, heavy metal and rock and roll. We expect our frontmen to be a little chaotic and insane, okay? But there is a line. A good frontman will know how to get up to that line, how to push it, but not cross over it. And is it really that hard to just make one of the worst events in human history? You know, is it okay to just not go there? You know, is it really that hard? I don't understand.
Salute. Vinnie Paul Abbott, the former Pantera drummer who had not spoken to Anselmo since 2003, remarked dismissively, "I can't speak for him," he said in a 2016 interview.
And I get it. I get the argument, and I'm actually with you. I gotta, down here it looks ugly. I gotta put something there. I get what, if you're not on the side of, listen, Phil, it's not hard to not do that. Just what the hell? Use some common sense and have some empathy and some understanding for your fellow man. I get that. The other side of the argument is that Phil is well known enough, right, to not be just these two events or three events, right? It's annoying when you say 2 events or 3 events. Like, why is this happening more than once, right? Like, honestly, think about it. They did, if you think about it, they did forgive the 2016. He's touring. This is why people are holding people accountable, because when these mistakes happen, it's not because they're one-offs. It's because they're comfortable with this language. It's because they're comfortable with this. And this is what's perpetuating stereotypes and subconscious racism and xenophobia and anti-Semitism. And it's like, it's all because we're so casually throwing this stuff around because we don't understand or don't care about the implications, because again, it doesn't affect us. And it's nice and it's so easy to say, what's the big deal when it doesn't affect you? And that's just not an empathetic way to deal or think about things. If you think I'm off on something, tell me in the comments, but I'm not seeing it really more complicated than that. You see what I mean? Like, I get that's the old clip, but you're gonna do that and then be confused or bothered by the fact that people think you're a racist? It's so stupid. What are you doing? It doesn't matter if you really are or you're not. You want people to think that you are. Well, if you think that serves your persona, like, how many people have thumbnails of them, you know, like this in the world that are not actual Nazis? Not too many. So it's just weird that you keep claiming that you're not a thing. And really what's more likely happening, just so you understand, is the way he was raised. These things were very probably funny to him, not very serious. And I'm sure, no doubt, that he, in his mind, doesn't think he's racist, but that doesn't mean he takes racism seriously, or that he thinks that these things aren't funny, because that's just how he grew up. It's like the whole heritage thing with the flag and everything. It's very hard to break. This is why people don't understand that racism is such a problem still today, even though it's so, like, not obvious. It's because of the, you know, a lot of the people who were raised just still have a lot of, like, hidden biases that they don't even, like, it affects their behavior, but they don't even really think about them. It's just natural for them. And if you play Call of Duty online, the N-word is the word du jour. Like, it's the funnest word to ever say to these kids, and it's just non-stop and relentless. So these are all jokes. These are all funny. And they do not care about any of the implication or any of the meaning, because it's not them. Okay, if someone was doing that to them, if there was some sort of an equivalent, I don't think they would like it as much. But they don't have to worry about that because it's not them. So, empathy, you know, empathy, common sense, good PR. All right, Pantera, it was fun while it lasted. You sounded good. Obviously, Dimebag is hard to replace, but it is what it is. All right, well, this took a turn. I wasn't expecting all this. I was really expecting to have fun reliving my Pantera days, and instead Phil has decided to shit on all of that. So, all right, that's that for this video then. Like, subscribe, support the channel. More videos to come, and let's get that Patreon. to 500. This is where you send me requests and support the channel. This is where you also get a bunch of my requests, reactions that I've done with my wife, HalfLifeSistah. We've got over 150 videos there that are waiting to be edited for YouTube. So plenty of content there for you guys to consume. And as always, keep it metal. HalfLifeSistah.com for our merch line. I love you. I'll see you on the next one.